And that's what 10 tons of compost looks like. Big steaming pile of goodness. So today is compost delivery day, and there's the first barrow full. And we've got between 9 of us, we've ordered 10 tons. So we reckon that works out to be roughly 20 wheelbarrows each. So that's a £2 a barrow load, which is far cheaper than you could buy bag compost at your garden centre. So I'm just going to get as many of these beds filled up as I can. I imagine if I put 3 on each, that should work out to be about 20 barrows full. So just going to carry on. Good morning, it's Sunday the 2nd of December, and it's currently -3 degrees outside, which is why I'm sat in the car keeping warm for a little while. I'm just waiting for a few more people to turn up. There's 2 people that have taken part in the compost delivery, and they're unable to pick their share up. So what we're going to do between us, we're going to take it over to their plots and drop it off for them. The one guy, a lovely guy he is, his name's Graham. He's 79 years old, and on the 12th of December he's going in for a knee replacement operation. So obviously we can't expect him to be moving wheelbarrows full of compost around. So we're going to drop it off at his plot for him. And then over the winter and spring, as he's unable to come down, we're just going to keep everything nice and tidy for him. He does a lot for the allotment committee, so I think it's the least that we can do to keep his plot up and running for him. So I'm just going to wait for my gloves to warm up, because I left them in the car overnight and they're frozen solid. And then once they're warmed up, I'm going to crack on with it. So as I mentioned in the car, we're going to be dropping off the compost for Graham. And bearing in mind Graham's, as I said, 79 years old and he's waiting for a knee replacement operation. This is his plot. There's virtually no weeds in sight. He's got his onions in. This is his raised bed that is put together for overwintering. Again, this is where he grew his potatoes last year. And this raised bed here, he's built this over the past month. Bearing in mind he's going around on a walking stick. So what we're going to do for him while he's in hospital recovering, we're going to drop his compost off for him. Just going to pop it down here for him. You can see that's his fruit area. And up in the background there, that's where he keeps his raspberries, and that's my plot over there. So all these people that have got these plots that are unkept and they say they haven't got the time or they haven't got the energy, I don't think there can be any excuses when we've got someone of Graham's age keeping on top of things. Well, it's warmed right up now. We're currently sitting at -1 degrees. That's a little bit more pleasant than -3. Between the 4 of us that have come down, we've got most of the compost divided out, and I've managed to get 3 wheelbarrows full in each of my raised beds, and I've managed to fill up one of the bulk builders bags with compost that I'm going to sieve, and I'm going to use that for my seedlings next year. Now, I'm not saying it's cold, but the outside of my hat's started to freeze, so that tells you just how cold it is today. Right, let's get inside. It's a very wintry morning this morning. Had a couple of inches of snow, probably 4 inches, 100 centimetres. And all I've come down really today is just to make sure all the netting on top of various things is holding up, so I'm just going to take any excess snow off the top. I think the greenhouse will be fine. Should be nice and warm in there actually, nice and insulated. Have a look through the polytunnel, make sure that's okay. But it's just going to be a very quick one. Might take the net off the fruit cage, because if we get any more snow and it starts to stick, it's just going to pull the net down. So I'll probably do that, and I'll also do it on the brassica cage up on the other plot. Now that the winter is definitely here, it's certainly not going to get any more life out of these chilli plants. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to harvest everything that I can take, cut the plants down and put them into the compost bin. It's not been a very good year for chillies this year, to be honest. I don't think we've had the weather for it, but we've got some, so I'll be thankful for them. I'm just going to harvest them and see what they look like at the end. Now, what I'm going to try and do with this pepper, which is a Bishop's Crown, which to be honest was the best tasting pepper that I grew this year. So I'm going to pot it on and try and overwinter it. So I've got a new pot, clean pot. I'm going to take it out of there. I'm going to get all the old compost off the roots. I'm just going to put it in the bed below me, and I'm going to put it into some new dry compost from the delivery that we received yesterday. I'm going to take out this wick as well, which has been watering it all summer. So I'll try and do this as gently as possible. So you can see, that's the pepper. I'm taking the wick out. I'm just going to get some of this sodden compost off the bottom and then pop it into some new dry stuff. And I'm going to trim it down to just above the nodes, and hopefully next year when it resprouts it'll start growing from there. Right, so there's the chilli, just shaking off all as much soil as I can. I don't want to keep it in the wet soil because it's just going to rot the roots. I want to get as much of this off as I can. I think anything that's left, the moisture will soak out of that into the dry compost. Right, so I'll just get a bag of compost. Now this compost isn't completely dry, it has got a little bit of moisture in it from where it's been outside overnight when we had it delivered. But once it's home and it's taken up residence in the dining room, it should be lovely. So there's nothing else lurking in there. Spread the roots out. So I'm just going to trim these down to just above a node, which is where the leaf would start. So hopefully in a few months' time that'll start to regrow. And if not, I've not really lost anything. It's taken 10 minutes to pot it up, a little bit of compost, and if it doesn't grow I'll just pour the compost back on the beds. So with that done, the greenhouse is all tidied out. I've got the snow off the polytunnel roof. So that's me done for the day. So that's it for this week. Hope you've enjoyed this rather cold, snowy episode, and hope to see you again next week. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.